right, Coach. Good road win for you. Thought the start was very key, especially the way Brandon Ingram was able to get out and get a shot early on.
Yeah, I thought we started the game the right way offensively, but we talked about this team, having the ability with, Sexton and, all of those guys out there really, Kevin Love and, when Nance came in the game, that they had the ability to score points. And, we ended up exchanging baskets. If you score 74 points the first half, you should have more. You should have at least a double-digit lead. So I thought they hung in, and you they're a good young team. There's a lot of potential on this team. I mean, obviously, I think they got a great coach, and it's just going to take a little time. But if you look at the talent that Kevin Porter Jr. has, and some of the other guys, Sexton and those guys, it's a process, and so. But I thought they played hard. They competed hard. Even when we got the big lead, they got it to single digits again. So we've got to do a better job ourselves of being in that situation and being able to close out games. We should have been in a situation where our bench players should have been able to finish that game, and we didn't have to play guys, the extra 4 or 5 minutes that we did. So. But all in all, any road win that you can get is going to be a good road win. And I thought when we needed to, we sat down and we guarded and we did what we wanted to.
Well, speaking of guard, we saw what Drew Holiday was all about tonight. He was absolutely not locked down defender at times.
He was, and we went in and had him guard Porter, and I thought he did a great job on him, just breaking his rhythm a little bit and coming up with a couple of steals. But, I thought Drew was terrific tonight, and I thought Brandon started the game exactly as we needed for him to start. He hadn't had many opportunities in the last couple of games, but I thought with the speed that we played with and the ball movement we had, we created some things for him.
And it wasn't just the guards. You were able to put Drew on Kevin Love for a good little bit in that first half. Just how valuable is he to be able to just stick basically anybody out there?
Well, I mean, you guys been around enough to know that that's exactly who he is. I mean, he can guard anybody. It doesn't matter. And, and we don't look at it as a mismatch, and we weren't going to go down and double team, as you could see, when they threw the ball into Kevin Love. We just told him to guard him, and I think they threw it in 3 times, and Drew came up with 3 stops. So, that's who he is. The thing that I think with our team is that we just got to keep striving for, consistency. We've got to be able to start a game and finish a game the same way we started when we start with a good situation like we did tonight. Defensively, we got to be able to lock in and not get to that point where we're just exchanging baskets, but we've got to try to lock in and come up with stops. We're a much better basketball team when we're running off misses than we are when we're running off makes.
Coach, what do you think of Cleveland's defense on Zion tonight? It seems like they did a solid job of staying attached to him.
They did, but he's an unselfish player. I mean, he's not going to go and force shots or anything like that, That being said, he did have 14 points and 9 rebounds. So anybody else, you would say that that's a pretty doggone good game. So, and he's early, we hadn't had a ton of practices. This is his 3rd NBA game, or 4th, whatever, I don't know. But, he's just like anybody else, it's a learning process, and we'll figure it out. We got to figure out spacing and things like that. And he's got to figure out, exactly where he wants the ball and how we can get it there. So, it's a pretty good game when you're in the process of learning and you can have 14 points and 9 rebounds.
In the fourth quarter, he had that offensive rebound and scored, and then had that other basket. That's how big were those two?
Oh, they were big baskets, and he's got great hands. When he's get his hands on the ball, there's a good chance that he's going to come up with it. And everybody got excited over the block shot, but last time I checked, there hadn't been a guy in the NBA that played any games at all that hadn't had his shot blocked.
You'll play road games in places that are a lot tougher to play than this building this year. But I'm wondering, when you have a guy like Zion with as much hype that's surrounding him, if it's harder to play at home when guys are screaming for you when you're on the bench, or in a place like Cleveland where, for the most part, I felt like they kind of left him alone.
We'll take home. I think anybody in the NBA would rather play at home. Okay, it's very difficult to win games on the road in the NBA, and the very very good teams, they can, but there's a situation where most of the other teams, if you can win half your games on the road, you probably had a really really good year.
30 minutes for Zion. Is it getting to the point where we aren't going to have to ask you that question anymore about burst?
You don't have to ask me now. I mean, he played 30 minutes. I mean, there's not too many guys that's going to play much more than 30 minutes anyway. So, we can put that one to bed, okay?
And Melly was able to hit some shots again tonight. Do you feel like he's really starting to find himself with this team in Sutherland?
Well, we try to play him. We think it's a good combination with he and Zion out there because he has the ability to space the floor. But he made 2 really, really big shots for us. When we were kind of teetering on the brink of letting them really, really back in the game. So he gave us an opportunity to stretch the league out again.